Welcome to our first video in the renovated studio. I'm excited about this. I love how dark it is in here. I love the vibe of it. The rest of the room is still not finished as of recording this, but we're going to get there. We're close. This is not about the studio. This is about a trip that I'm about to take. My hopes and dreams for that trip, the outcome or outcomes that I hope for. And yeah, we're going to take you along for the ride, basically. And I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional with not only how we're shooting these videos and the story progression, but also like what I'm hoping to get out of any given experience where you happen to be joining me. So I'm leaving in 3 days, count them, 3 days, for a vacation that is a week long, 10 days long, give or take. And we're road tripping to Indiana. Those of you who are longtime subscribers know that I like to go to this lake in Indiana, in honest to goodness Amish country. It's like 51% Amish out there, which is really fun. We like to road trip. It is a 24-hour road trip, as in 24 hours of driving to get out there. Those of you who are not from the continental United States might think that's ridiculous because it's an awful lot of distance, and it is. But it's also something that Kristen and I both really enjoy, and something that even Moose tolerates. So what I'm trying to do is, I've got some gear here in front of me that I'm going to bring with me. This is not a gear review. I'm not a gear review guy, but I wanted to talk about why I'm going to bring what I'm going to bring, as well as which film stocks I think I'm going to choose, and some of the images that I'm hoping to get. So yeah, road trip is step one, right? It's a long time to spend in the car. We bring lots of fun things with us, but mostly I'm in the passenger seat and Kristen's driving, or vice versa. We don't let Moose drive. And that's a huge, that's 3, 4, 5 days of my 10-day vacation. Excuse me. Is that. And so I want to document that. In order for me to do that in the close confines of a vehicle on the move, I would generally use something like the F5 or the F6 and a really wide angle lens. This is the Sigma 15-30. That gets the job done, 100%. It's also like maybe too wide sometimes, and it's hefty, and it is like annoying to have the big gear like up front in the car with me when I also have like my Switch and my Kindle, and I've got all this like dumb shit floating around. I don't know, it's a little silly. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing is bringing along my cheap plastic point and shoot Rito ultra wide and slim, and using that. Now it's a 22 millimeter focal length, which I'm not sure if it's really wide enough for the shots that I want in the car, showing like basically Kristen in the driver's seat and then like as much of the expanse out the windshield as I can get. Lighting, whatever is going to be a thing there. So, but this is great because I can just stuff it in my pocket or in the little like side of the car door pocket. I don't know. Cup holders obviously will be filled with coffee, so I can't put them there. But so I am going to bring both options, and I'm going to shoot both specifically for the goal of being able to make a print showing that experience. Probably going to be sunrise or sunset, to show like the nice low beautiful orange light, and that will light the inside of the car similarly to the outside of the car. So that's one of the images that I'm hoping to get. This, it's just for me. It's not like fine art, but it is something that I want for me, so I'm going to try it. So that explains this, and one of the purposes for this. The other lens I want to bring is this sort of very lovely svelte little 28 millimeter 2.8. I love pancake lenses. Small lenses, good. Small lenses I can carry around. I don't have to worry about it. They're not big. They're not flopping the whole camera around. What I think I'm going to bring instead is the monstrosity of the Nikon 28-300 35-5.6 travel lens. because with these two lenses, I have everything from 15 millimeters to 300 millimeters. And the travel zoom, aside from it being like a $200 cheap point and shoot sort of lens, is really great. It's way better than you want it to be. Optically, it looks good. You can print real prints from this lens, which I've done several times, and they look great. So it lets me reach out reasonably far and also get stuff that's really close. And it's only 5 times the weight of the little pancake lens, and double or triple the size, or quintuple the size, depending on how it's doing. It does have a lock, which keeps it in 28 millimeter mode. So this lens effectively becomes this lens, and that's something I've used a lot and I like. So I think this is mostly the setup, and you'll also notice I have all color film out. I've shot a lot of black and white film at this place, but right now it's like summer. We got good color. It feels really good to be out of doors, and it feels like color is the choice. So I'm going to be comparing Fuji 200, which is also Kodak Gold, Kodak Ultra Max, which I like for summer because it's got a good pop to it. It's very vibrant, and probably some Portra because, I mean, you have to, right? I don't feel like Portra fits the scene as well in Indiana. I feel like Ultramax will do a better job of what I think I'm after, but I'm going to bring it anyway. In terms of images that I want to get, I've got the car shot. Obviously, there's going to be a thunderstorm. There's always a thunderstorm while we're there, which is amazing. I love thunderstorms. I'm going to try and get something that really captures the feel of a thunderstorm. I don't have a lightning trigger. I don't have any fancy, like, this is all I'm going to bring for camera gear. But there's like a shutter drag opportunity in there that will give me the feel that I think I'm looking for. And the long focal range really will help. Because as I push out to 200 or 300 or even 100 millimeter, you can compress all of that rain into one scene. And it helps give you the like, oh yeah, it's really pouring. So a thunderstorm shot would be really nice if we can get a proper one. And if I'm awake for it. A lot of the thunderstorms out there are at night, and that sucks. What else? So in last year's Indiana video, I went to this really tiny little lake and photographed this like pier among all of these trees and stuff, and there's a cute little boat over there. I'm going to try and get that shot again, but 35 millimeter, probably with a significantly longer focal length, so I can be far away from it and kind of compress that scene a little bit. Hopefully at like f5.6, that will give me the aperture I'm looking for to still make that shot sort of work, because it could be very busy. What else? I don't know, it's weird. I'm finally in the mood to shoot all this color film and make all these color prints, but we're like mostly a black and white lab. So in the back of my mind, there's always these black and white versions of these same shots, or other shots that I can get in black and white that are sort of kicking around in the background. And I'm sure I'll come up with some cool stuff that I like that will then be able to print in black and white and do like proper prints. Because you guys watching me make inkjets of all these is a little interesting, but not nearly as much fun as making platinums. Maybe I can use these, if I get any good color shots, to experiment with my platinum over inkjet. That would be interesting. I'll keep that in mind as I'm shooting to see if there's anything that sort of fits that way. It's like old school, old town Indiana. Like everything is antique. It was built in the early 1900s, so it's like the platinum look works there. So yeah. Anyway, so we got a road trip coming up, and then we got a week on the lake, and then we got a longer-ish road trip coming back. Should be fun. Let's do it. Let's get after it. Let's go.
For some coffee.
hello, and welcome to the lake. Out for a nice, peaceful paddleboard. It's like, looking at my watch, 3 p.m. We've been out, we did a paddleboard with the dog for like 2.5 hours. I've had a nap, taken some photos, and the sun is still directly overhead. Like, the day's only half finished, which is awesome. Being this far north in the continental US in the summer is pretty great. Love it. Paddleboarding is one of those things that I've been doing for years as like the summer activity. It's like on any given day off when it's not psychotically windy, because wind and paddleboarding is a real thing, you can find me at a body of water somewhere on a paddleboard, usually with Kristen and Moose in tow. We switch off having the dog on both of our boards. He will just jump off of one board when he gets sick of it and go swim to the other. It's adorable.
Go get her.
Come on.
Go get her. Good boy.
Drink the water while we do it. Come on, Dingus.
And yeah, I mean, today I got to use the paddleboard, or a nice big long one, as an excuse to go scout a couple of locations. I'm doing the same thing now, basically just tooting around with the light sort of terrible, and with lots of smoke in the air. I'm not sure if you could see, but the Canadian wildfires are for real right now. But basically scouting with terrible light to see if I can find something that I can come back with the camera later and see if I can get improved light. It's so much easier this year with 35mm. Like, I could shoot them now. I'll probably wait till I get better light, but just carry the whole kit around, no big deal. So that's what I'm doing. I'm out supping around. We had 2 days of like cloudy, rainy, terrible. I say terrible weather. It's really my favorite kind of weather. I love rain. I love clouds. I love those gloomy sort of days because we don't get them very often. We've had 2 days of that, so we were like hunkered down indoors, basically just chilling hard. You know, reading books, playing video games, relaxing. Now that the sun's out, it's time to be out on the water. Can't waste those days. So I'm just gonna paddle around and, you know, see what there is to see. There are really 3 activities that I live for on or near lakes. One is hanging out in my hammock, one is paddleboarding, and the other, which is a new to me experience, is stand-up jet skiing. So I've got a jet ski here, I've got a jet ski in Flagstaff. They're really cheap, really easy to come by, harder to get ones in really good shape. But so those are like the 3 activities that I'm engaging in and enjoying. This trip is mostly R&R with a little bit of photography thrown in during these sort of down moments where I can just like chill and go do my thing. So let's go hunt down some pictures, maybe see what we can see, huh? Sweet. Go jet ski? Yes, indeed. Time to jet ski. Yes, very good. sometimes you just gotta fall off, you know? Look at it. Look how beautiful it is. Oh, yeah. I've been wanting to get that shot since I got one of these. Wow. It's the last day at the lake, and so we are going to have a little family trip to another lake that's attached. We did the same thing last year, so if you haven't already, go watch last year's lake video. But I'm going to unclip this boat, we're going to get the dog and the wife, and we're just going to go putz over to another lake and take a picture. That's it. I mean, it's nothing, you know, crazy. We're just doing the stuff.
Yeah, okay, 800. Looks like my last roll.
Yeah, I'm shooting all of my film this trip at N+2.
It's almost as if I should just like.
Right there. That was easy.
Is it?
Welcome. Change of studio space. Ooh, we're trying something slightly new and slightly different, and I just let me know what you think about the new stuff. You know, shit. I don't know. I went to Indiana. I was able to shoot at least one concept for every one of the shots that I wanted, that we discussed in the intro. So, good. Steps in the right direction. I did something ever so slightly strange on this trip, where rather than allowing my color film to look good and show its strengths, I decided to push every roll by 2 stops. Because, well, for a number of reasons. But we had a lot of dark light, like thunderstormy days, whatever. Mornings, nights, I don't know. It just felt like the thing to do. I'm not sure I regret that choice. I'm not sure I don't regret that choice. We'll go through some of the images that I've kept and that I've liked from this trip in no particular order. These are not in order at all. And what we're looking for here is images that I want to print for myself and hang up, or print and give away to others, which is kind of a thing that I've been enjoying. Just like, it doesn't have to be crazy. It's like 8 by 10, just here. Yeah. To the machine. HP5, because obviously. Push 2 stops, because yes. In broad daylight, because I'm a freak. This is me driving a boat with my brother and his fiancée on also a sailboat. I was just ootin' a boot trying to get photos of them doing their thing. I'm probably not going to print this one because it's like me, and the horizon shift is kind of weird, and the whatever, but I liked it, so I kept it. I talked about how I brought only color film, and then I definitely brought some black and white and shot it like during a day that would have been great to shoot color in, so there's that. Here we are, foil surfing. Might give that one as a gift to this guy. Kind of a cool dude. Here's foil surfing again from a different viewpoint. I really like this shot. That's my brother. He's a foil surfing maniac. I am hanging off the back of the boat with my camera 6 inches from the water, which happens to be like 10 inches from the propeller, because I could see where the light was hitting the boat and wanted to get this lens flare. The placement of it is a little strange. But you got a little bit of water down here doing its thing, which I think is neat. This was a good concept for this shot. I'm going to try it again later. This was one of those images that I knew I wanted. And the fact that I'm pushing Ultramax 2 stops to 1600 in development, I knew would get me in some trouble, and it clearly has here. So I also know that Ultramax, like Fuji Superia 400, wants to be overexposed, a stop. So I'm processing this film at 1600 and I'm shooting it at 800, just so that I can get a little bit of wiggle room with the color shifty shenanigans. So this shot was a shot that I wanted. I knew it had to be sunrise or sunset. Sunrise on the way there, sunset on the way back, because directions. I knew I wanted traffic, like other cars in the frame, because we're on a frickin' road trip and you're going to spend literally days with all these semis and stuff on the road. And so this is Kristen, like, after I just had a 3-hour nap and she'd been driving for hours. Sunrise of our first day in the middle of somewhere Arizona. This is definitely Arizona because there's nothing going on and no foliage of any kind. This is a shot I knew I wanted. I don't know. I mean, if I was going to print it, I would definitely crop in to just the image itself and omit all the film border shenanigans. There's some color correction that needs to be done to this for me to actually go there. But, I mean, because Kristen and I spend so much time on road trips, it's like you got to have it. So I'll probably print this one reasonably small and put it up somewhere in the building. I don't know. But shot from the list that I wanted, sold. Don't mind me not answering phones all day today. All right. This one was not on my list, but I enjoy it. This is selfie time in the mirror. I was hoping to get the dog's head like in the mirror back here, but he couldn't be bothered to stand up, so whatever. I photographed a gas station near night without using Cinestill film, and let me tell you, it can be done. You don't have to use Cinestill to photograph a gas station at night. But you do have to photograph gas stations at night in Cinestill. You know, listen, I'm not the guy who likes to photograph gas stations. That's not my scene. But I snapped this as we were getting ready to leave this particular spot where we'd like hung out for a little bit. And I like it. I don't have the gas prices in it anywhere, which is kind of annoying. I like having gas prices in my photos just to have them. They're listed down here, but you can't see them. But I thought the clouds are really cool in this. The F6 did a beautiful job rendering this scene. Okay, moving on from road trips to the actual lake. This is as close as I could get without knowing what the results were going to look like before so this is a thunderstorm, right? They come in off the lake and they come across the water towards us, the way that the weather almost always works out. And so what we always do is just stand in the front of that house, cottage, it's not really a house, and look out these windows and watch it just come at you. I opted to go for a wider angle shot here because I completely forgot that I said I was going to do a telephoto version. Which would have really shown the wateriness a lot better than this one does. I am dragging the shutter. This is like 1/8 of a second, and the trees are like whipping. It was windy, and obviously it's raining. It turned out, between the grain of the film and the way that everything is moving, this reminds me of photos from my old Android phone. I had like circa 2011, I had an Android phone that I was really hyped on for doing the grams, and this reminds me of that. Like the resolution is there, but there's no sharpness, so it's kind of hard to place in time. The blacks in this I really like. There's a hint of detail of the like tablecloth or whatever it is down in here. I could see myself trying this in a platinum over inkjet. If I learn how to get a good black using that process, that would be really cool. I could also see it just in straight inkjet because it's the black, like, you got to have a decent black that like makes the image. If I had to do this one again, I would focus on just one of these windows and push out, or maybe the boats, because I like this chain in the window here on the screen door, and give myself a lot more focal length so that I can compress more rain into the frame, which would make it less sharp, sure, but it would also like make it really apparent what's going on. Maybe speed up the shutter speed a little bit too. Joe McNally, I have this picture in my head that Joe McNally shot in one of his books, and it's of a rugby team playing in the rain or practicing in the rain. And that's the shot that I was like kind of like using as a reference point for this, and I failed miserably at it. But there's always more thunderstorms to play with, so there's that. This is the moment right before my little pink plastic Rito 22mm ultra wide and slim got very wet. I took it out with me because it's a cheap $30 or whatever it is camera, so I don't really care about it. I'm not taking the F6 out like this because the dog likes to stand on the very front of the paddleboard, and when he's hot, he'll just yeet himself straight into the water. Just like, screw this, I'm out, see y'all later. So when he sees a dog on shore, or when he sees Kristen all the way over here and he's hot and he wants to go get in, or when he's just bored, he will just get up and just jump in. And I was kneeling at the time. I'm usually the guy that stands up on a stand-up paddleboard, and he just like took off, and this camera got so wet. So I accidentally souped this film in lake water. And you can tell because the colors are weird and the emulsion has started to do some weird shit. We've got some purple, we got some orange, we got some greens that don't belong. This is a much heavier vignette that I'm used to seeing from this camera because of water invading the film. So there's that. But that's a story for me that was like part of this trip that, I don't know, I just love it. There's my Miss Lady on an early morning foggy shenanigans that you saw in the footage, maybe, hopefully, that I captured. I don't know. Honestly, guys, I'm so bad at doing video. So bad at it. And so if there's footage from this, awesome. And hopefully you get to see it. And if there isn't, like, fucking sorry. So bad. This is road tripping. This is kind of what the back roads of Kansas feel like after you've been on them for 18 hours. I did not drag the shutter on this intentionally. I think I'm just being a spaz when I use the camera, because this is on the, obviously, this is on the little pink plastic camera with the ruined roll of film, and I'm just like, yeah. So it gets a little blurry. This one must be on the F6 because it's sharp and gets me where I'm trying to go. I don't know, the blurry and yeah, I'm into it. I like to take pictures of my wife because, you know, marriage and love and stuff. She brought her Veronica and crushed it. Like, I actually put 2 or 3 rolls through it, and every one of the frames that she got is like sharp as shit. The Veronicas, the ETRS, oh my god. This is not a gear review or an endorsement, but you should definitely buy one if you're into that. Yep. She's driving boats. I like chicks that drive boats. Putting that out there. This film, dude, this is Fuji 200 in broad daylight. Push 2 stops. Like, I should have so much latitude here. And either Negative Lab Pro is shitting the bed, or I actually managed to overexpose this. I think I was probably at f8 at 2,000th of a second, maybe 4,000th of a second. Like, the F6 has plenty of shutter speed. The only saving grace here is that the Canadian wildfires we had were insane. Like, fires hundreds of miles away were producing so much smoke, like record-setting wildfires, that this is actually what it felt like. Like, these seats, this whole boat interior is white, but it looks yellow-brown. because there's so much smoke in the air. Unreal. So it did feel like this. I don't really want it to look like that. This is probably not a printer, but it is a keeper for me because I like that. These two shots, this one and this one, just represent this summer specifically to me so strongly that I will definitely be editing, a little bit of brightening, and printing at least one of these. This one would need like a little bit of a crop. I like what the sky's doing here. The purple blue shift is cool. This is a little more true to what it actually looked like. And yeah, this is like the view. So I don't know if you are into jet skiing like I am apparently, but you're out playing around, you fall off. I mean, I do. And you have to swim back to the jet ski, which is just floating around however far away from you it managed to get. And this is like the view, just like swimming up to it. And it's just, there's something about this, just like, oh, hi, hello. So yeah, super into that. I'm definitely going to print one of these, probably this one, and put it up somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I'm going to put it up. This is my adorable wife and her dog. Fuji 200 getting pushed 2 stops. It's starting to do some weird shit. We're shifting the whites in kind of a blue direction while the oranges and skin tones are like a little more orange in skin tone than they're supposed to be. The cutest damn thing though. I mean, look how cute they are. Moose does not like to swim. He does not prefer to swim. He prefers to, like, I guess, swim over to you and then have you either hold him or pick him up and put him on your paddleboard. So, yeah. Roadtrip shot version 2 in black and white. I like things about this. I think if I dodged some of her face a little bit and just gave like a little bit more of her and like maybe dodge a little bit more of the Ford logo, I might get close. I don't know. This one I do like. I can't tell really if this is water or if it's grass or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's grass or whatever, but I like that shot. I'll probably make kind of a small print of that. This though, this was not on my list. And I'm so freaking glad we got up early and got out and went playing in the smoke / bog / whatever. I'm going to make a reasonable size print of this. It needs some cleanup. It would look so good in platinum. Oh, guys, it's going to look so good in platinum. I can't even help myself with how good this is going to look in platinum. Its brother, also with much cleanup, will look quite good in platinum. The grain structure is hefty, beefy, but it's so like such soft, beautiful tonality. So I like the contrast of that, and the platinum will do just the right job. So look for both of these. We're going to print both of these, but one of them, this one, is like, that's the shot of the trip for me, and I had no idea that it was going to happen, and I shot it on that piece of garbage Ultramax. I mean, sorry, I did shoot it on Ultramax, but I shot it on that, I think I shot this on that piece of garbage little camera. We'll have to look at the footage, hopefully that there is some footage, and we'll see which camera I shot this on, but I don't remember having to try very hard to make this picture. So that's cool. Definitely gonna print that, yes. Okay, so this is one of the shots I talked about last year when I was there. You could see a boat. It's like a little upside down or right side up, I don't remember, boat. We'll go back through the archives and see if we can find some of that footage. It's not there, or if it is there, it's so overgrown by grass that you can't tell. Apparently no one uses this particular pier very often, which kind of sucks because that boat is what made the scene relatable. It's what made it, I don't know, I guess human-ish? So the fact that it's gone or not visible makes it a lot harder for me to relate to this scene. It makes it like, so I care less, maybe. it would still look good in black and white, and I included several of these here just so that you can kind of see the different angles and stuff that I was working on. Like, okay, so omit the trees because there's too much going on. Like one with the tree, but there's this frickin' house back here, and this is starting to get busy because there's no like focus. You know what I mean? Like it's sharp, but there's no focus. We talked about this in a video. Go check it out. I don't know. It's sort of blah. Like the shot that I went there for is basically this. Like I'm zoomed out a fair bit so that I can compress the scene a little. And if there was just a boat right there, it would be so much better. I don't know. I'm a little annoyed. Maybe we'll do it in black and white instead. Maybe that'll look better. But those are like the cream of the crop, the decent images that I've been considering for print. A couple of these are print worthy. Obviously this one. This one maybe kind of small. I don't know. Reconciling that is difficult. For sure this one in color because yeah. And then like some of them that are just going to be for me. Like we'll try one of these and see how that goes. And we'll try one of these and see if I can get those colors to look right. This yellow looks sickly. It looks green. It needs some more magenta in it. I don't know. And I might try and do one of these for my little brother. The problem is he has nowhere to put it because kid lives on a sailboat full time. So you only give people so many photos before they're like, thanks, I have nowhere to put this. You suck. Which he would never say. He would say that. Yeah. And maybe one of these as like a gift for this homeboy. Just for giggles. But anyway, you know, that's, yeah. I think what we'll do now, or next, because it's not going to happen right now, is pulp a couple of these files, do a couple of quick edits, just dial things in a little bit, clean things up a little bit, and we'll make at least one decent size print for giggles. Sound good? Whew. Let's do it. Canson Rag Photographique is my go-to paper for piezoography. I don't know how or why it became that, but I just like it. Still saving. I think I've angered the computer gods today. R is for crop. And like, you know, maybe omit all the extra idiocy. That looks like terrible in black and white. Okay, we're not going to do that. A little brighter. A little less saturated. Something kind of like that. This is like, you know what I mean? This one's just for me. Part of me kind of wants like a little gradient. You do like something like that. You know? Kind of like that. We'll put that on the list. Let's see, larger thumbnails, please. Thank you. Desktop, new folder, Indiana prints. Whee! Full on double printer rainbow. Okay, we'll put these up.